one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. Just gotta mean something, you. They gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
When did winning not become the main thing? I always say keep the main thing, where, winning is the only thing that truly matters.
Welcome to the recap on Saints World. We are back. The NFL season. It is officially back. Felt like an eternity. It felt like an eternity. I'm not gonna lie to you. Every time that I'm telling you, the Super Bowl is like a bittersweet thing because it's the last game of the football season, yo. So it's the big game, but it's the last game. It kind of sucks when that happens, but you got to act like you care about all these other sports throughout the months. You got to act like you care about, and I do enjoy basketball, baseball, WNBA. That's basketball too, but I just I enjoy WWE. All of that stuff's great. It's all great. It ain't the NFL, and the WWE get close sometimes. Not as of late. I'm not as addicted to it as of the last year or so. Football though, that's the love that never dies. It doesn't matter how bad shit gets for your team. You come back every year, ready to do it all again. Even if you know the outcome's pretty much going to be the same thing. There's teams out there who know they sucked last year. They know they'll suck this year. They know they'll suck next year also. But hope. That's what keeps us going. You see even teams out there who have no hope. But we make up hope. We act as if they do have hope. When we don't have a lot of other things to talk about. Because when we can entertain ourselves with other teams, then the teams that suck, we just seem to not care about them too much. Halfway through the season, we'll probably stop talking about some of these teams. Well, they'll probably stop talking about most of these teams. But nonetheless, it's a brand new year, and like I said, it felt like it. And it feels like an eternity since I had you here with me. Yo, that song by Alex, that just popped up in my head. This dude, Alex, we're supposed to be talking about football. Who am I to, on the first show back for the season, who am I to cut off the football chatter to just randomly start talking about some pop artists? But this is the type of things that happen on the recap. Listen. Yo, that song is so... Alex Warren kind of on a Ed Sheeran type of run when it come to dropping tracks, yo. I don't know if it's a track he done dropped yet that I haven't rocked with. Like, that Carry You Home song was the first song I ever heard by him. That was tough. Oh, I hope you know I will carry you home. Whether it's tonight or 55 years down the road. That's my shit. And then I like his Ordinary might be a generational track. I'm not gonna lie to you. I listen to that song probably every single day. I didn't even know how much I liked that track at first, but when I first heard it, I didn't really think nothing of it at first. I was like, oh, it ain't better than Carry You Home, because obviously Carry You Home was the first song I had heard by him. But then I just found myself at work. I started finding myself at work just randomly singing that song in my head or out loud. And now I realize that you got me kissing the ground of the sanctuary. That's my shit, bro. Alex Warren, all of his songs kind of sound like gospel songs when you don't listen to them hard enough. But then he got that song with Jelly Roll. You ain't nothing but a liar. That's not the one with him and Jelly Roll. I just thought about that when I said Jelly Roll. That's one of Jelly Roll songs. What's the song he got with Jelly Roll is the how did that song go? That one not popping up in my head. I mean, it's popping up in my head, but not. That's because that Eternity song is playing in my head right now. You don't have to live in your bloodline. Oh, we got tomorrow, and if something like that, and we still got time. The shit, I saw that video for that song that he had with Bloodline. I mean, with I think it's called Bloodline actually. That he got with Jelly Roll. This time will be our tune. That the way that song started off is hilarious to me. I remember how it go now. But that Eternity song, my goodness. I just found out that was about his dead parents, bro. Now that could have been a lie, but I don't think it is. I could have done the research. I haven't. I love the song though. Somewhere I can go. That Eternity song and stuff. But back to football. I like the way the NFL kicked the season off. I like that they gave us. I'm glad that we didn't have to wait till now. Obviously, the season usually kick off on Thursday, but I'm glad we got Thursday, Friday, Sunday. I'm glad we didn't have to wait a whole 2-3 days before we got to Sunday. I'm glad we got, because I'm gonna be honest, it would have got annoying very quickly listening to all these sports shows only talk about Dallas, Philadelphia for the next couple sports days or days that they on the air. That would have got annoying very quickly. So I'm glad tomorrow. Well, matter of fact, it's no sports shows tomorrow because tomorrow's Saturday. But I'm glad we have other games to talk about. People don't have to just overly obsess about that one game. I think the fact that 2 games happened back to back kind of helps that overreacting a little bit after the first game. Now, it was Dallas, so people going to feel how they feel about Dallas, but I like that it was 2 games. For one, like I said, the wait time, like from Friday to Sunday don't feel like a long wait now. Thursday to Sunday is a long wait every year for me when it's no game. So I'm glad that the Friday game happened when there's no game in between those games. But also, I heard somebody say, and I saw people saying on Twitter, the NFL season don't start till my team play. Shit. The NFL season start when the first 2 teams play, bro. I don't know what the fuck y'all be talking about, man. I understand y'all love y'all teams. But at some point, and this is why it's so difficult to talk sports with some people. Because some people, a lot of people as a matter of fact, they talk sports, but they only talking from a perspective of, they can't tell you more than what they've seen from a team that's not their team. Meaning, if their team, let's say we talking about the Chicago Bears with somebody, right? But that person is matter of fact, fuck I don't want to sound like that. I don't want to pick a team within the division. Even though some people don't even know their own teams if their teams play within the division. Okay, so say we having a conversation about Chicago, but we talking to a dude who is a New England Patriots fan and only watch New England games is in the conversation, trying to tell us about Chicago, even though this man don't watch a lick of Chicago Bears football. The only time he watches Chicago is if they play against the Patriots or if they are on prime time. Mind you, he will not watch the whole primetime game if it get a little ugly. These are the type of people who are loud having conversations about teams. They don't watch the teams play. They just watch their team play that team if that happens. So, I see why people would say the season don't start till my team play. But for me, Big Saint over here, who watches a lot of football. Like, a football season does not go to waste for me because I watch so much football. Like, I don't just watch the Baltimore Ravens play. Yes, that is my favorite team, but that is not the only team that I watch play. Because why would I waste 18 weeks just watching one fucking team? That's crazy to me. Like, that is insane that people really... And the wildest part is, if your team play at 1 in the afternoon, and that game is over about what 1, 2, 3. I can't remember what time the game. See, I'm so out of. I think 5 is usually around the time those first slot games end. If you stop watching football after your team plays, that is crazy. Like that is. I can't do it. I have to get as much football watching in as I possibly can while the football season is here. I have to. Plus, if we're gonna run a decent show over here, we gotta know what we're talking about. But the first 2 games of the NFL season, the kickoffs, the Philadelphia Eagles were at home taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Ring night. And I'm gonna get to that game second, but I want to actually start off with my favorite thing that I saw, and that's probably how we're gonna start the recaps. Well, that'll be the first segment we get into throughout the recaps, because we ain't gonna It's a good chance I'm gonna start off the show rambling about some random shit. But to kick off to start the show now about talking football. My favorite thing that I saw so far in week 1, and we're gonna do so far in week 1 because Sunday's not here yet. We're gonna talk about these first 2 games. My favorite thing that I saw within these first 2 games was Justin Herbert. Now, if you've watched this show, if you've watched me or listened to me talk about Justin Herbert before, you would know I'm one of those people who is very much at this point offended when he is put in the top 5. And listen, one of the things I'm really annoyed with is when people, specifically the white analysts, when they rank Herbert high and they say it's awful potential. That is very annoying to me because even now, does CJ Stroud, have he not shown that he got more potential than Herbert? Has Jaden Daniels not shown that he got higher potential than Herbert? Now I know it's some morons out there that are going to say Baker Mayfield got more potential. I don't agree with that, but if you just going off of what you done seen or the team success over the last couple, people butt in and say that. So I don't really like that argument because they don't use it for everybody, but they pick and choose for the quarterbacks they do want to use it for. But this is not me trying to diss Justin Herbert. But if you've watched me, or if you haven't, the way that I feel about Justin Herbert is I don't like how how he get all these passes. People talk about him in this highlight. They put him in the top quarterback rank. And I'm not even a big use all your playoff stuff as your, I don't like killing people for just the playoff stuff because the seasons matter. If you don't play great in the season, you don't get to the playoffs. So it's crazy to me that people try to act like only the playoffs matter and none of the season stuff matter. Now, if you are at such a level where you are so great, i.e. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, I get why some people tend to lean on, I just want to see them win a Super Bowl. I don't like that, even though I want to see Lamar and Josh win a Super Bowl also. I don't like dumbing down their entire seasons to, they didn't win a Super Bowl, so it's a failure. Obviously, they didn't touch the peak that they wanted to touch, but I'm not finna poo-poo. That's one of the things. I think people are starting to dilute legendary players because, they didn't win a Super Bowl at the end of it. And the craziest part is you dilute guys like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, but you uplift a guy like Joe Burrow, who done missed the playoffs the last 2 years and lost the Super Bowl. But you also then started saying, people then also started saying shit like, Pat Mahomes is not, he not having the greatest seasons no more. He not really this no more. But he got the rings. I thought if you got the chips, that people don't talk about you crazy no more. All that really means is, we'll put Pat Mahomes. It's even people who don't want to put Pat Mahomes as the top quarterback anymore. It's crazy out here. Really, the only type of protection you get is if you're Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow. And I just watched Justin Herbert throw 4 interceptions against the Texans in the playoffs last year. And the year before that, I saw him have a 20-something point lead against the Jags and absolutely fuck away that game. But I don't even just care about the playoff performances from Justin Herbert, which, mind you, they don't talk about the way they talked about a young. See, this is another difference. Justin Herbert is no longer considered young. He is young, but he ain't in year 1 or 2. He is now in year 3, 4, going on 5. When he lose in the playoffs, it's not, you can't use he was, because he wasn't. He didn't make the playoffs his first 2 years. Lamar Jackson actually made the playoffs those first 2 years as a rookie and a second-year guy. And you still use that as ammo to go at Lamar. But I never see people kill Justin Herbert. But this is, once again, not here to hate on Justin Herbert, but we got to get through this to get to the praise. So, and like I said, it's not even just about the playoffs for me. Because I see, which is why he was my favorite thing I saw. Because I done seen Justin Herbert fuck away games in the regular season that I deem important. A couple years ago, the year that they made the playoffs and lost to the Jags, they shouldn't have even made the playoffs. They lost a clutch game against the Raiders, and I don't even think Derek Carr was playing in that game, if I'm not mistaken. Or no. The Raiders just acted like they didn't even want to win the fucking game. And somehow they still ended up winning that game, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Like, to me, it's just so... And then I didn't even realize that Herbert's record against Pat Mahomes was 7-1 before the result of tonight. I did not know that. Because you look at the media, They talk about him like he done beat Pat Mahomes every time he done played him in the regular season. Like, to me, it's so many, and I done said this before, it's so many big moments, big games, specifically second half of games, where you need Justin Herbert to play great. Where he does not play as great as he played in that first half. Or when a game is unimportant, the way he play against certain teams, like bad teams, that he can go crazy against, I need that same shit when you playing against the good teams. And it's not even that I need you to go crazy against them every single time you play them, even though we done seen Lamar, we done seen Pat, we done seen Josh go crazy against great teams. I just want to see him be out. The way people lie and say he make players around him better, I think people lie when they say that about Justin Herbert. I have not seen him make players better yet. I see talent that he already got, which I'm going to get into that later on, a guy who came back. But I do think Justin Herbert is a good quarterback. But in those big moments where you need him to be great, where it's just inches that separate winning and losing, Justin Herbert just has not been that guy. And people don't hold him accountable for that. As a matter of fact, when you point out that he don't win big games, people try to go back at you. But he don't win big games. Tonight he won a big game. And then he won this big game because he made big plays. He made big throws. Those throws that he make in the first half of games where teams is getting ready, getting warmed up or whatnot, that ultimately usually don't matter at the end of the day because the season still end up being a wash. They still lose the game and you just celebrate all the passing yards he threw. I always said once the passing yards start to matter. See, my biggest problem with Brandon Staley was not that he was a bad coach or something. I don't think Brandon Staley was a bad coach. But I do believe he cared too much about Justin Herbert looking good than he cared about his team winning. And that is a huge problem when you are a head coach. All of the touchdowns that they took away from running backs. And Austin Eckler had a hell of a career when he was over there with Justin Herbert. But it's so many times where they could have just handed it to Austin Eckler. Let Austin Eckler be a running back. But they took it out of his hands to make Justin Herbert look good. Points in games where you need to have a better run game. They turned Austin Eckler into a receiver, basically. And you had Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Wood. I get it. But the lack of balance, the lack of smarts on some of these drives, and some of these games you're looking at, and it's like, bro, you didn't have to throw the ball right there. But why did you? And then it's not even one of the things that I don't think people really talked about enough early in. And I know people like, bro, I thought we was going to praise Justin Herbert. I'm getting to it. One of the things I don't think was talked about enough early on in Justin Herbert's career was I don't think he had to learn how to read a defense because he had great players around him. You don't have to need to know how to. Well, listen, everybody's going to eventually have to learn how to read a defense. But when you got a plethora of talent, yeah, it make it that much easier to where you don't have to always go out there and be able to read a defense. But then you start to lose that talent. And then the offense becomes dink-dunk because you don't know how to. You can't break down and sophisticate. I don't want that to happen to Justin Herbert. So I'm so happy they brought back Keenan Allen. Like, I thought last year when they got rid of all his talent, that was just fucking. That's why I really didn't kill him as much as I probably could have last year. Like, I did talk about him last year. But I didn't kill him the way I was killing him the previous years because he did lose all his talent. However, one of the things that I did say is, and Ladd McConkey, I know a lot of people like Ladd. I don't know where I would rank him yet and as far as receivers. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But with all that being said about Justin Herbert, on how my thoughts on Justin Herbert, tonight was big. Like I said, Brandon Staley had him throwing all over the yard and yada yada, but none of the shit mattered. And then you come in next year and then you bring in Harbaugh and he basically take away all of Herbert's weapons and have him throwing it to nobody, and you turn it into a run, even though you don't have the type of running. And I know people like JK, but JK haven't been able to stay healthy his entire career. So that's not a running back who you can rely on to carry the load, who can be a workhorse running back. You can't be a workhorse running back and be an injury-prone running back. Those two things don't equate. So this year, to see how they done started this first game at least, if you watch this game, he did not take the ball out of Justin Herbert's hands. When the game got in, one of the things that really annoys me when I see certain teams or not even certain teams, when I see teams in these close games that have basically become back and forths, and it get down to crunch time, and you need to keep the pressure on the team, and you start handing the ball off, and you ain't even no running team, but you just start handing the ball off. Or you start running the ball knowing the defense is setting up just to stop the run so they can preserve time and get the ball back. I hate that. Like, why become soft? Why start playing this soft type of offense? I love that Harbaugh allowed Justin Herbert. Because Harbaugh is one of them type of coaches that could have easily fell back into the hand the ball off. We got the lead. Hand the ball off. But it's as if from last year to this year he realized this ain't the NFL he left before he went to Michigan. And when he came back to the NFL, this is a completely different NFL. And so I'm glad that he looked at Justin Herbert tonight and said he got to outplay Pat Mahomes. And I'm glad he understood where the game was going. That first half of the game did not matter because the Chiefs offense came to life in the second half. You can't let the Chiefs offense come to life in the second half and then you become, oh, we're just going to keep handing the ball off. You got to let Justin Herbert work. And that's exactly what he did. Not only that, one of the things I don't like, don't try to protect Justin Herbert when the game get tight and so you start handing the ball off so then we can just question the coach. Because if you start letting Justin Herbert hand the ball off, they lose this game. We're not going to come into the media saying, oh, why didn't Justin? They're going to be like, why did Harbaugh start changing the game plan? Why didn't he let Justin Herbert throw the ball? I'm glad he put his faith in Justin Herbert. The best player on your offense is Justin Herbert. Not nan running back you're going to bring in there is going to be more important than Justin Herbert. While you do need to have a balanced offense where you do want to be able to run the ball when you need to run the ball, the Chargers are not a run-first team. And I think he learned that tonight by putting his faith in Justin Herbert and letting Justin Herbert get them over the finish line. Justin Herbert made big throw after big throw after big play after big play in the second half of this game. The first half of this, and I didn't want to really break down the Chargers game first. It looked like that's where I'm going. But I'm really talking about Justin Herbert. When you look at the second half of this game, well, first off, when you look at the first half, you could say that the Chiefs was dominating. They never had more than a 10-point lead, which, well, no. They had they never had bigger than a 10-point lead, which went down to a 7-point lead because the Chiefs took the momentum at the end of the half with a field goal. So it wasn't really as dominating as people would make it out to be, but yeah, the Chiefs offense was struggling early. But that can happen when you have a Travis Kelce who can't beat nobody at this moment in his career. And he took out on accident, but he took out Xavier Worthy on the third play of the game. Marquise Brown still dropping passes. But that's the guy who you got to rely on heavily. Isaiah Pacheco don't seem to be the same running back since those injuries from last year. You're not going to give Kareem Hunt 20, 30 carries a game. So essentially your running game ain't what you need to be right now. You don't have as reliable weapons on the outside. Your other receiver, Rasheem, is suspended. I expect the Chiefs offense to look the way it looked in the first half. What I also expected, though, is because this game stayed so close, I expected the Chiefs to be able to, Mahomes put on his cape, which I really dislike the Mahomes chatter of, oh, Mahomes don't throw for all these crazy yards no more. Like, I really dislike it. If you watched me before, if you haven't, you finna learn something today, but if you have, you already know how I feel about Mahomes and Lamar. I don't really, see, I'm very unbiased, and when I'm biased, I'll say I'm biased. One of the things that's very annoying to me is looking at how they prop up Joe Burrow for all the yards he passed for. But you look, it's no, bro, I'm not taking A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith over T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, bro. It's not happening. You're not taking Devontae Smith over T. Higgins or Jamar Chase. You're not. So this notion that Joe Burrow is just out there throwing it to nobodies, he got a Pro Bowl tight end over there. Like, this notion that Joe Burrow is just piling up yards with third and fourth string type receivers is insane to me. He got the best duo in the NFL by far, in my opinion. I do not think AJ and Devontae are better than T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. And that ain't just a this year type of thing. I've been saying that since this channel started, that to me is the best duo of receivers in the NFL since Jamar Chase hit the scene. Because I already felt how I felt about T. Higgins. But when you watch, but that's my problem. People act like Pat Mahomes is still over there with Tyreek Hill, prime Travis Kelce. That's not what he is working with. He is working with young receivers, misfit type receivers who done been from place to place. He not working with first round studs. And even then, I hate it when people be like, well, he got first round receiver. Bro, every first rounder don't turn out to be great, and we know that. So this pick and choose who you want to use that first rounder shit on is annoying to me also. Because I've been hearing people say, well, they gave Lamar first round receiver. Nigga, every first round receiver don't pan out. So this thing of Pat Mahomes, bro, look at the talent around him. This the same shit they was doing to Brady his last couple years in New England. Oh, Brady ain't got it no more. Look at who he is throwing the ball to. Then he go to Tampa Bay with weapons, and he wins another Super Bowl. Like this thing where people say, oh, Pat Mahomes not that good. He not doing what they dink and dunk too much. The deep game not exist. Well, look at the talent on the roster. Look at what he's working with. Of course, they don't have the same vertical threat because they don't have Tyreek Hill anymore. Now, I personally think the Chiefs need to try to do everything, and if they want to extend Mahomes, which as long as you got Mahomes, you're gonna have a window. But I done said this before, you gotta help Mahomes. You can't keep making him carry this team. You have to give him some help, because when you start to I'm gonna get to it in depth a little bit later. But when you start to make Mahomes do as much as he feel like he got to do, that's where injuries start to happen. I think they need to try to do everything they can to package something up to go get Tyreek, or to go get a receiver. They have to go get somebody. I do not think Rasheed Rice is, from what I done seen, he ain't a top receiver in the league. So losing him, yeah, that's bad because of the chemistry that you done built with Pat Mahomes. But I want Pat to get a bona fide stud over there again. Travis Kelce is clearly not the same anymore. But it's just that thing of, oh, Pat Mahomes not the same. Like, that is just very annoying when you see what he is working with. But once again, this is why Mahomes is who he is. You cannot watch this game and tell me that the Chiefs were... The only reason the Chiefs even were in this game was because of Pat Mahomes. He was their best runner. He was their best thrower. He was their best player. I mean, just flat out. And obviously, he the best player on the team. But the only reason the Chiefs were in this game tonight was because the Chargers was beating themselves in that first half. Like, just... The Chargers probably should have been up big in the first half, but they just kept doing stupid shit. I mean, they had one drive where they basically scored, and then they ended up damn near in the middle of the field because of penalties. But games like this, to me, continuously prove why Mahomes is who he is. He's just unfucking real, bro. He's unreal, bro. Games like this remind you why he is who he is, because he is a high tide that lifts all boats. It is very easy to see it when you watch Pat Mahomes play. It's plays that he make, it's things that he does in the game. Legitimately, if Pat Mahomes didn't do everything he did tonight, the Chiefs probably lose this game about... If the Chargers continued to have played the way they played in that second half, the Chiefs probably lose this game by 20-some points without Pat Mahomes. Probably bigger than that, because Pat Mahomes was everything for them tonight. And to me, watching this game, it was very clear that Pat Mahomes was everything for them tonight. In his second half, Pat was great. And that's when you need Justin Herbert to be even greater. And he did. I can't think of really any games where Justin Herbert had this type of performance against a great quarterback in the second half of the game when the game got tight and the other team started scoring and the other quarterback said, okay, let me be great. Justin Herbert stood up. We didn't have to make excuses about, oh, well, Justin Herbert played great in the first half, and in the second half, the coach did it. We didn't have to do none of that, because Justin Herbert showed up and showed. Justin Herbert looked like the best player on the field tonight. And I have never said that when he played against top-tier quarterbacks or top-tier. Like, Justin Herbert looked great tonight. All those throws that I say don't matter for him most of the time, because they usually don't, all of those throws matter. It's not the 40, 50 yard, oh, he got such a great arm. Look at the throws he made tonight that made such a big difference. And Keenan Allen, my goodness. If we had a second favorite thing I saw tonight, he would probably be my second favorite thing. But that's just, you're just overdoing it when you start doing shit like that, you know. But Justin Herbert, what a performance in the second half of this game. He had an 8-for-8 drive in the second half of this game where he went 8-for-8 on that drive and it ended in a touchdown. Just big boy drives in the second half of this game by Justin Herbert. Big boy drives. The camera was on him a lot while he was on the sideline. I don't know why they decided to keep the camera on him for so long when he was on the sideline so much, but he looked zoned in, like he was tuned in. It was just something different that I saw. Maybe this is the year. Maybe this is his year too. The way year 2 for Mahomes, Lamar, Allen, where we was like, okay, this is going to be a force to be great. Maybe that's what this is becoming for Justin Herbert. Maybe this is his awakening season where I got it now. Like if Justin Herbert play like this against the Lamars, the Mahomes, the Allens, the Burrows, the Strouds, the Jay and Daniels, when he played the Rams or the Lions, if he play like this, put these type of performances on in the second half of games, or just play like this throughout the game, because I think he played a great game, period. But specifically his second half, he raised his level of play to a level of play of which it was, I'm not losing this game. That was my favorite thing I saw this weekend. Shout out to Justin Herbert. I've been very critical of Justin Herbert at times, but this is the reason I've been critical is because of the performance tonight. Because I knew he could do something like this tonight. This is the type of performance you want to see from a quarterback like Justin Herbert. The celebrating those other things that don't matter and then getting mad when people tell you those games don't matter because he didn't win them and he didn't play great in the when the game mattered. I can't say that about this game. Every single time they needed a play from him in this game, in that second half, he made the play. Game on the line. Rolls out to the right. First down run. Game sealing win run. In Sao Paulo, Brazil. Big game from Justin Herbert. Big game from Justin Herbert. Now I want to go to what I hated. Yes, sir. If we're going to talk about the one thing that I liked, we got to talk about the one thing that I didn't like. And that was Jalen Carter. What are we doing, buddy? If you watch the Dallas Cowboys Eagles game, which I took a nap in that game because of the delay, an hour and a half delay. I always hate when that type shit happens, but before the game even started, before a snap was even had, before a kickoff was had. Well, no, a kickoff did happen. Oh, wait, did a kickoff happen? Before Jalen Carter played a snap in this football game, he decided to walk up to Dak Prescott and spit on him. Now, let's address this elephant in the room, if you want to call it that. I notice a lot of dweebs on Twitter and on socials saying, Dak spit first. I did not know in all my years that spitting on the ground was considered disrespectful. But I done spit on the ground a couple times. And then I seen people say, well, he spit on the ground near Jalen Carter. That's interesting. Because I done spit on the ground near niggas. I done spit on the ground near people also throughout my lifetime. Not that I was trying to spit on anything like that. The spit just happened to kind of land near him. But did it land on him? Did I aim at them and try to spit on them? I've never done that in my life. Because spitting on somebody is one of the most disrespectful things you can do to somebody. Not only is it one of the most disrespectful things you can do to somebody, it's fucking disgusting. It's disgusting. I ain't never seen a moment where somebody spit on somebody and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. He looked tough out there. I've been disgusted every time. So to see Jalen Carter. So this Dak spit on the ground shit, bro, I'm not trying to hear none of that. I'm not. Because I've never seen anybody get mad at somebody for spitting on the ground. But walking up to a man and spitting clean on him, I'm gonna be honest with you. Give me a quick second. My TV in the other room is getting a little bit too loud. I was starting to hear that bad boy way too much. But I think they need to suspend him. I'm dead ass serious. The same way B-Hen felt when he saw Dante Jones digging his ass and rub it on a hotel wall, he thought that nigga needed prison time. I agree. Not prison time on this situation. Huh? I don't know, man. You pop a nigga in jail for a day or two for spitting on a nigga, I bet you he won't do that shit again. And I ain't talking about, anything he could get raped and pretty. Like, when people think shit like that, that's just weird to me. My first thought is, yeah, sitting in that cell by yourself for 24 hours plus, that's gonna make a motherfucker think about spitting on somebody again. Having your freedom taken away, but it's not that serious as far as that. Let me get back on track. I would suspend him for a game. Actually, I'm a nut. I'd probably suspend him for 5 games, to be honest with you. But leaving my personal feelings out of spitting on people, yeah, it'd be hard for me not to suspend and fine this motherfucker. But I know some people be like, well, suspending him with no pay is the fine. It's not enough. I'm going to just be honest. An act so disrespectful, so nasty, bro, you spitting on the man, spitting on anybody. You basically telling them they lower than dirt. Because you spit in the dirt. You spit on the ground. You spit in grass. Like, you don't spit on people. So to spit on somebody is literally you telling somebody, I think of you as less than dirt. That I didn't even spit in the dirt on you. I spit on you. Which is very confusing to me that motherfuckers keep trying to make this a Dak spit first thing. I do not care that Dak spit in the dirt, bro. I care about Jalen Carter spitting on another man. And now people twisting this to, his team didn't even protect him. He just walked off the field, bro. Are you niggas retarded? The recap, baby. We back, boy. What a season. We about to have a season. But some of you boys just mentally are not all the way there. Why are they going to risk getting kicked out before a snap happens just because this jackass want to do something stupid? Like, what? You niggas are very confusing to me. Like, very confusing. Jalen Carter just got himself thrown out. So why don't y'all get yourselves thrown out too to protect Dak? No, protecting Dak is staying in the game and trying to win it and protecting him. Because if his offensive linemen throw punches and they get ejected, now who is defending and who is blocking for Dak? And then motherfuckers saying Dak should have swung on him. Listen, when I first saw that, I said, boy, Dak a better man than me because I would have swung on that. But Dak is a quarterback. I appreciate that Dak understands his position. Dak cannot just say, see, and I get it because I'm guilty of this at times also. But positions do matter, ladies and gentlemen. Dak is a quarterback. He is not the 3rd, 4th receiver. Hell, he ain't even the receiver. You could be the first receiver. He is not a position on the team. He is not of depth, basically. He don't play a position where you can have depth in and it matters. Because depth at quarterback, in my opinion, don't matter. You got your best quarterback, and then all them backups do not matter. Yeah, you can get a backup come in and play decent for you if you're one of those great offensive minds, whatever. But for the most part, when you lose your best quarterback, depth don't matter after that because you're not going to be the same team without your best quarterback. You could lose a receiver and still play good football. You could lose a cornerback and still play good football. Those are positions where depth actually matters. You just got to have a backup quarterback just in case your quarterback go down. But if your quarterback go down, your season probably done. So Dak understanding his position, how important his position is to the team, I respect that. In saying that, I do not think that I am at the part in my life mentally, and maybe it's because I've never been in a position like Dak done been put in. Like, Dak make a shit ton of money to keep his composure there. Dak is entrusted at a position where you need your dude at that position to be able to turn the other cheek. If you want a player to be mature, you need your quarterback to be the most mature. That's the player you want to be mature. So I commend Dak for that. Because knowing the type of person I am right now in my life, and Jalen Carter a big dude, but it's just no way that me and this man ain't out there scrapping after you just spit on me. There's no way. You probably weigh a good bit more than me. Maybe you get this one. But we definitely about to be scrapping, my guy. Because you're not going to walk up to me, spit. Like, I just cannot tell. Do you know how fucking disgusting it is looking at people spit? It is. I think it is just disgusting. I hate it when niggas spit on the sidewalk instead of in grass. And they just spit a big nasty ass snot loogie on a concrete. Like, bruh. I remember one time I was hooping at my cousin's house. And we was playing 3-on-3 in his backyard. His mom had concrete backyard. Like, so he had a basketball court in his backyard, basically. Man, I remember one day this nigga spit on the ground, on the concrete. And my cousin, one of them niggas who spit the most disgusting spits, bruh. Like, it ain't no quick out of his mouth. Like, it's a nasty, long spit. And he spit that shit on the court. And I remember me and the homie stopped playing basketball. I was like, why would you spit on the court when the grass is right there? Like, it's just something. And I was disgusted with him. I felt disrespected in that moment. So imagine a nigga actually spitting on you. Nah, B. Nah. Out of control. Out of control. Nigga, matter of fact, I done worked myself up. That nigga gotta get a 3-game suspension. Minimum. 3-game suspension, $1 million fine, and no pay for them 3 games. It's just some things I can't rock with. That's one of them. That is just fucking disgusting. That's like, to me, if a dude mom died and he was very close with, I don't care if he was close with his mom or not. If a dude mom died and you get on the field and you start bringing up his mom as a joke, bro, I'm not finding that player for beating your ass. I'm not finding that player for swinging on you. How low of a human being do you have to be to use a death in the family as some type of way to get somebody out of their skin or out of their game? What kind of shit is that? I saw Micah Parsons say that people who do tricks that mean they not good enough or some shit like that. If you gotta bring up shit like that, you're not a good shit talker. You're just a mean-hearted person. So it's just some shit that I don't like. Now, the one thing that I do feel is disappointing for Jalen Carter, because as much as I'm annoyed and disgusted by his act, he's still a black man at the end of the day, so I'm always going to have sympathy for a black man. It just is what it is. And so I do feel that I feel for him, because this is about to be used for the rest of his career. They are going to use this shit for the rest of his career. He going to have to win a couple of Defensive Player of the Years. Matter of fact, it don't really matter what he do. The greatest that he can become will only keep a lot of white people from talking crazy about him. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be the white dudes that get on the air and say, you remember he spit on somebody. It's still going to be the Mad Dog Russo type niggas out there that's going to let him remember for the rest of it. Listen, Laramie Tunsil's weed thing happened when he was getting drafted. They still bring that shit up to this day. Laramie Tunsil done been in the league for God knows how long. He done been an all-pro, Pro Bowler, like been considered a top his position, and niggas still bring that shit up. You think they're not gonna bring up you spitting on another man for the rest? So I do feel for Jalen Carter on that aspect, but not the way I feel for like Laramie Tunsil, because Laramie Tunsil I don't think smoking weed is wrong. So him smoking weed with having a gas mask on. For one, I remember correctly, they said his uncle, the one who leaked that picture, his uncle's a bitch. That's just, there's no two ways around that. Your uncle's a bitch. It's the same way I feel about, and this is about to be very controversial, I feel the same way about the family member that snitched on Michael Vick. You's a bitch. Like somebody outside can come snitch on me for doing what I'm doing with these dogs. You my family. My money I'm making in the NFL is helping you stay good. Another nigga who I ain't taking care of can snitch on me freely because my money don't matter to them. You? Yeah. I know some people ain't gonna like that. But now let's get into some of these games, or some of the important things in these games. So I want to actually go back to this Eagles game. Because it's a couple things I want to talk about in this game. For one, I'm very much annoyed with the Jalen Hurts discourse online, as I normally am. I don't understand why it's so popular to disrespect Jalen Hurts. I really don't. Jalen Hurts is a damn good quarterback, and the only reason the Eagles won that game was because of Jalen Hurts and some help from CD, but we'll get to CD in a minute. Jalen Hurts was phenomenal in this game, in my opinion. From the game that I watched, Eagles don't win that game without Jalen Hurts. Now, with that being said, this ain't on Jalen Hurts in my opinion. Well, I know some people say it is, but to a little bit extent it could be. But the offensive coordinator who's never called plays before this year, how do you come into a game and have no plays designed to get your best receiver the ball throughout the entire first 3 quarters, basically? Like, I don't think A.J. Brown caught a pass or was targeted to the 4th quarter. How does that happen? For one, if I'm the Eagles front office, that can't happen. We pay this motherfucker way too much money for y'all to play him the way you do. Like, and I'm not saying that the Eagles need to the offense need to be just throw it to AJ the whole game. No, that's not what I'm saying. But AJ cannot be a decoy, because that's an expensive fucking decoy. Also, AJ helps the offense when he's playing, when he's getting the ball. So I don't understand this thing of, well, the offense doing good without him. They could be doing better with him. Plus, I get it. The Eagles are a run-heavy offense. You don't want to run Saquon Barkley into the ground when you have this type of help around him, because you don't have to run him into the ground. You literally have help. So I would like to see the Eagles offense focus more, or just a little bit more, on getting AJ. Like, you can't go a whole game and have one target for AJ Brown. Why do you pay him what you pay him? And I guess my only thing to Jalen Hurts would be, you got to force the ball to him at least once or twice. Like, you just got to figure out, like, we just getting the ball to AJ on this play. And I'm always confused by stuff like this, because do you know how much Joe Burrow is getting Jamar and T the ball? I don't care what defense he playing against. He is getting them the ball. I understand how great a running team the Eagles are, but after that game, I don't see a reality, personally. And I'm not advocating for this. It's just very hard for me to see a reality where A.J. Brown don't eventually ask for a trade. If not this season, it's going to be in the offseason. Because if this is how the offense is going to continue to be, to be honest, and I don't have a problem with the Eagles offense, but you don't even need A.J. Brown at this point the way you play. Devontae Smith is good enough at this point. Now, I'm being a little facetious at this point, but I just don't know why you would pay A.J. Brown. If you paying him, I think A.J. make $33 million a year. Why are you paying him this type of money and okay with him being targeted 1, 2, 3 times a game? That I don't think that can. For one, At some point in time, A.J. Brown got the Super Bowl. Now he's trying to secure his spot in Canton. You're not going to do that with one target a game. A.J. Brown knows that. At some point in time, if this is how the offense continues, A.J. Brown is not going to be an Eagle. He is going to request a trade. Because I'm starting to see a lot of people forget how great A.J. Brown is. I remember when people were saying he ain't on the same level as Jamar and Justin Jefferson. I'm like, what? That's what the Eagles offense done to this man. They done got y'all really saying that he ain't a tier 1 receiver. I still remember what he was doing to my Ravens when he was in Tennessee. A.J. Brown is a tier 1 receiver. He just played for a team that just does not focus on getting the receivers the ball. Even when Jalen Hurts was throwing the ball, he wasn't throwing it to the receivers, really. And then when he was, it wasn't A.J. And this, to me, this ain't one of them situations like I'm going to get to Kelsey in a couple. But I do believe the Eagles have to find a way to get A.J. Brown more involved. I don't understand how you don't have a package of plays for A.J. anyways. Just easy ways to get him and Devontae the ball. You pay both of them a good bit of money to not use them as free. Like, I just refuse to believe that and I understand winning the Super Bowl is cool, but what I done seen from businessmen and these owners, winning the Super Bowl, cool. But if we can win the Super Bowl without having to pay A.J. Brown the money we pay him, meaning trading him because we clearly don't use him the way we thought we would have to, that's something that's going to happen. Like, I don't see how the Eagles don't eventually say, well, if we're not going to use him the way you should use a number 1 receiver, why do we need to keep him on the roster and pay him like a number 1 receiver? Even though he is a number 1 receiver, we don't use him like a number 1 receiver. We don't get his true value because of how our offense is. You get Saquon's value, but you're not getting A.J. Brown's true value, having him go off once every 3 weeks and shit like that. Like, I just think it's hard for me to see a reality where he isn't eventually traded to another team. And it don't even have to be a contending team. Because like I said, he got his ring now. He just got to play for stats now. He is a receiver. He trying to get in the top tier receiver stats so he can make it to Canton one day. That's all that should matter to A.J. Brown at this point in his career now. And rightfully so. His bag, matter of fact, money and stats are the only thing that should really matter to A.J. Brown. Now, I know some people say, well, no, Super Bowl should matter to the team. No. Super Bowl matters to Jalen Hurts. A.J. Brown got 1. He don't got to get 2, 3, 4 Super Bowls. That's not necessary for a receiver. A.J. Brown got to stack 1,000-yard seasons. He got to keep getting touchdowns. He got to keep putting up them type of stats. Keep making Pro Bowls, being an all-pro. That's what matters for A.J. Brown. And I'm not saying in A.J. Brown's head, that's what matters. I'm telling you that's what should matter to A.J. Brown because he is a receiver, not a quarterback. He got his 1, so he good. But that would probably be my only thing with the Eagles. Also, Adoree Jackson, who was getting a lot of flack online. He didn't play the best game, but I don't think he was as terrible as as people make it out to be. CeeDee Lamb is a great receiver. I mean, he had a rough night in the second half of this game, but CeeDee Lamb is still a great receiver. I would like to see, before I get into CeeDee though, I don't know if maybe it was just because it was the first game. It's kind of weird to me though because he was there for damn near the entire offseason. I did expect Pickens to be more involved in the offense than he was. But Dak Prescott is kind of a Matthew Stafford type of quarterback where he overthrow it to his best receiver or his favorite receiver all the time. So, like, Dak is going to get CeeDee. CeeDee going to get probably double-digit targets every game. But I think Dallas's best offense is when they learn to split those reps. Not even just split them. I don't care that CeeDee get double-digit targets a game. But some games, Pickens going to need to get double-digit targets. Or no, you need to find a balance, a happy medium. You need both of them to be great throughout the season at the same time. It can't be CeeDee great this game, then Pickens great. No. If you want a Jamar Chase, T. Higgins type of duo, you got to figure out how to get both of them involved. And see, that to me is Joe Burrow's best trait. is that he religiously keeps T and Jamar engaged throughout the game when they both playing. Like, he not just overusing T. Higgins, he not just overusing Jamar. He used both of those boys, which is one of the reasons that the Bengals offense can get tough to defend at times. Because I liken it to the Celtics. Rarely does Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown go off at the same time throughout the entire game. Usually it's Jason Tatum get a quarter, Brown get a quarter. Tatum get the other quarter, Brown get the other quarter. However, in 4 quarters, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins usually both go play good in the first, the second, the third. Like, they're not giving you, oh, well, right now it's just going to be Jamar going. No. They usually I still vividly remember the playoff game, and they lost this playoff game. But they nearly won it because Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase all was making big plays in the same game. All of them. That's what you need if you are the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys could have still won this game, though. T. Higgins had some drops. He had himself an interesting night. Now, Dak was throwing some concussion balls out there. They're accurate, but there was some concussion balls. But that post route that T. Higgins dropped, Dak basically walked it to him. I mean, that was a pinpoint throw. And Dak made some throws in this game that I think just didn't result in the result that. And one of the biggest plays in this game was Miles Sanders. My goodness, bro. I don't know how you didn't score on that play. Yo, Bond. How you pronounce his name? I think it's Bond or Braun. Bond. This motherfucker tried to punch the ball out twice and still got the tackle. The very next, was it the next play or the play after that? Within the next 2 plays, fumble. Like that, I'm not gonna lie. It would have been very hard for me not to bench Miles Sanders for probably the next couple games for that shit. Because that is a very big play. To not score on that as a running back, you let Bond catch you from behind. That, I don't know, bro. And he tried to punch the ball out twice. And you didn't score? And then he was cheesing after. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I ain't too sure about that one. But I like what I saw from Dallas's from Dak. Basically, Dak played a good game. Now, I don't think he was that much better. I don't even think he was better than Jalen Hurts. I think him and Jalen Hurts both played good games. But to say he had just some, like, Jalen Hurts was the only reason the Eagles won this game. Like, you could say, oh, C.D. Lamb actually because he dropped. No, if Jalen Hurts don't make the plays he made in this game, they don't win this game. Now, I think one of the biggest parts of this game slowing down in the second half was because of the delay. An hour and a fucking half delay is usually going to do that to teams. I really hate it when that happened throughout the season because most times when that happens, when they come back to play, the game's just not the same. But because of that, the game ended 24-20, and it stayed competitive, really, or close, rather, because neither offense really got going. Dallas didn't score in the second half of the game. And you liken that to how many points they was able to put. They put up 20 points in the first half, scored 0 in the second half. Now, this could be one of them times that I talk about Dak not being able to beat them teams. But Dak actually played decent against the Eagles. Like, the Eagles are not one of the teams that Dak, even though Dak could have had a couple interceptions in this game because of, not just because of CD. It was some drop picks in this game. I don't think Dak played like some otherworldly game. And I definitely don't think, one of the things that really bothers me, Jalen Hurts did not play a bad game at all. So to say Dak played better and Dak lost the game, it's crazy to me. Because Jalen Hurts didn't do anything in this game. Like, people say, well, he didn't throw a touchdown. He ran for 2 of them. Like, I just don't understand. If you watch this game, you clearly saw that Jalen Hurts was probably the only reason the Eagles won. Shout out to Lane Thomas. This motherfucker's unbelievable. Like, unbelievable. I think the Eagles did get away with some holding, which is something that happens when you got one of those media good offense. Everybody knows that the Eagles have a great offensive line. And when everybody knows that, the refs know it too. So they'll probably get away with more holding calls than most offensive lines will be able to get away with. It's just like the Chiefs. For a long time, the Chiefs got away with a lot of holding, and a lot. I still think the Chiefs get away with a lot of holding in big games. Like when Pat Mahomes start to scramble and shit like that, the Chiefs' offensive line always are allowed to extend the play for as long. Every time you see one of them long extended plays by Pat Mahomes in big games, go and look at the offensive line. And I'm not saying it happened every time, but a lot of times. Go look at his offensive line. Go look at the holding that's not being called. It was a holding call in Baltimore a couple years ago that they didn't call. And it was a big holding call. I'm not going to say it was the biggest call of the game, but it was a pretty big call to not have called that holding call and for let Pat extend that play, get out the pocket, and that drive ended in a touchdown, I believe, or 3 points. And that was big because they get off the field if you call that holding call. So, and I just get annoyed every time I see the offensive line, the linemen on the Chiefs who always, they starting to call him for that false start more. But boy, looking at him get off early before the ball is hiked, like he used to get away with, I don't know how I forgot his name, but he used to get away with so many false starts. I'm glad they done started calling him for that shit the last 2 years, because that is very annoying, and that is a huge advantage to allow him to continuously get false starts off and not call them. But the Eagles just were the better team. It just is what it is. They are better than Dallas, and Dallas didn't look terrible, but the defense didn't really. It was so. Micah Parsons clearly was missed in this game. It's just plays that I know Micah would have been able to flush. Where Hurts don't get the yards he got if Micah is in there, because Micah is a generational type of talent. So it's things that Micah can do that these other dudes just can't do. I think Dallas is going to miss Micah throughout this season. They clearly didn't have a pass rush. I mean, good Lord. But I want to get to this Chiefs game. And I'll probably touch more on the Dallas, Chicago. The Dallas Eagles game. Probably when I do the show on Sunday when we break down the other games. I doubt it. No, I'll probably touch back on that, double back. But I do want to talk about the Chiefs before we get out of here, because we have hit the hour mark. If only he didn't waste so much time in the beginning of the show rambling. Anyways, at the end of this Chiefs game, the big run that I talked about Justin Herbert making, well, that was supplied to him by Chris Jones, who was playing the outside defensive end position. And when you play that outside position, and Chris Jones knows this, you cannot give up the contain on the outside. So you cannot go inside knowing that you have to protect the outside and there's nobody else there behind you to protect that outside. That's your job, to make sure Herbert does not break contain. Chris Jones decided to go inside. And that's what ended the game for them, because the defense did everything they were supposed to do up to that point. It was just that one mistake by Chris Jones that cost them the game. And Drew Tranquil was in his ear about it. Rightfully so. Drew Tranquil was telling him, do your job. Like, your job was not to go inside right there. You just cost us this game because you did that. You blew your contain on the outside because you decided to go inside. And Herbert broke loose for 13, 14 something yard game sealing run. I fully agree with Drew Tranquil on that. Mind you, watching the Chiefs was interesting tonight because Chiefs defense didn't really look like McDuffie is still a stud, but the Chiefs defense didn't really look special like they done looked the last couple years. And one of the things that's interesting, when this game was getting to the end, I said to myself, the Chiefs defense haven't really looked great all night. Once Pat started scoring, they started letting the Chargers just go up and down the field on them now. I said to myself, but this is Super Bowl winning defense. This is the drive where they're going to get that one stop and Pat Mahomes going to win it. And then Chris Jones, the 3-time Super Bowl champion, is the one that cost him the game. And that just further showed me these boys getting old. Chris Jones, I don't even know if Chris Jones is I don't think he's the second best player on that defensive line anymore. Tranquil better, and the other dude who just got paid. I can't remember his name at the moment. The other dude who played. Both of their ends are better than Chris Jones at this moment. I understand we like Chris Jones. He done been a great player throughout his career. I don't think he the third. I think he the third best player on that defensive line right now. I think Tranquil and the other dude, who's I don't know how I forgot the other dude. I'm forgetting a lot of names tonight. It's for week one for me also. But I don't think Chris Jones is and that's what's interesting to me about Chris Jones, because I was thinking about this after the game tonight. They just gave him that extension, 2-3 years ago? So maybe he already deep into the contract. But boy, they don't really need Chris Jones at this. Well, I'm not gonna say they don't need him, but I can see the Chiefs looking at Chris Jones saying to themselves, he could be expendable at this moment, because we got 2 defensive linemen that are better than him. And he don't have the same speed. He don't have the same get off. He's not as dominant as he used to be. And him not being as dominant as he used to be is one of the biggest reasons he is no longer 1 or 2 on that defensive line. Like I just think Chris Jones is more that savvy vet now. I don't even think that he is, and I could just be talking out of character. He could end up proving me wrong by the end of the season. But I don't even think he aging at this moment like Cam Hayward. Because Cam Hayward, 35, 36? Cam Hayward's still one of the best defensive tackles in football. I don't even know if Chris Jones is as good as Cam Hayward is right now. So, I don't know, man. It's going to be very interesting seeing Chris Jones this season. Seeing what the Chiefs do with Chris Jones if he don't have like a big season this year. I could see them trying to move off of him next year, or trying to reconstruct his contract or something like that next year. Because at some point in time, the Chiefs going to have to start letting some of those old vets go so they can start bringing in new talent that can make the team even better now. That's going to have to start eventually happening. And I'm not just talking about bringing in youth. I'm talking about bringing in better talent. That's going to cost you a little bit more money that you can't pay while you're paying Chris Jones and shit like that. So it's going to be interesting, because I definitely don't think Chris Jones is the same player that he used to be. And I really do like Drew Tranquil and the other dude. I think they are better than him right now. Drew Tranquil had like 2 or 3 sacks in this game. Drew Tranquil, a great player, bro. Like, Drew Tranquil had a good night. And I think that's why I understood why he was so pissed off at Chris Jones at the end of the game. Because it really was a mistake that didn't have to be made. And Chris Jones, being in this league as long as he done been in the league, the big games he done played, he should have known that you cannot break that outside containment. You cannot go in and leave outside. Nobody was out there behind you to help you. And it's not even a help you part, because you didn't even, you just gave him the outside basically because of your decision. So I do understand that. But the Chiefs finally lose a 1-score game. I think it was like 17 on a 17-0 streak when it came to winning 1-score games till the night. Pat Mahomes, I think Pat Mahomes is still gonna be Pat Mahomes this season. I still think one of the things that's hurting the Chiefs right now, and it's hard to say it's really hurting them because the Chiefs just got from a Super Bowl, and they won 2 of them before they lost last year. But I still think one of the things that's hurting the Chiefs is I don't really like Andy Reid called their plays and whatnot, and Andy Reid is a great play caller and whatnot. But I really think they had more success, I think Eric Bieniemy being there helping call plays or calling plays just because. Andy Reid's offense, what really is it at this point? It's just dinking and dunking and hoping that Pat can find a way to get somebody. Usually they don't even hit deep plays like in motion. They hit them because of the play breakdown or something like that. And you didn't usually have to rely on the play breaking down for big plays to happen for the Chiefs, but now you really do. Or you have to worry about like pick plays. Like one of the biggest things that happened in this game, or one of the biggest things that I took away from this game is Travis Kelce just ain't. I don't think Travis Kelce gonna have an 1,000-yard season unless Pat just find a way to overthrow him. Overthrow it to him all season. Basically, just force that bad boy to him. But I don't know, man. The Chiefs, to me, Travis Kelce don't win matchups. The last 2 years, he don't really win his one-on-ones no more. Not the way he used to win them in his prime. And maybe that's all the hits he done. Well, it's definitely all the hits and things he done taken. And I think once he has started questioning retirement or thinking about, I always say it, once players bring up retirement, like they say retire, and they talking about themselves, you basically retired, bro. And so I think this will be Travis Kelce's last year. If I'm just going off of this first game, I know he had that one big score on that pick play, basically, on that play design. That really wasn't him beating the man as much as it was he got that pick from the other player that sprung him open. But one-on-one, without the play design helping you get open, I just don't think Pat. I don't think Pat can rely on Travis Kelce to win his matchups no more. I think you're gonna be making a lot of contested throws or tight window throws to him the rest of the season because he don't got the speed he used to have. He don't got the wiggle he used to have. And he could do it in spurts here and there. But I just don't think consistently down to down Pat can rely on Travis Kelce to beat his man anymore because he haven't done it for the last 2 years. And in game, do you know how big Travis Kelce would have been for them tonight if he could have beat his man consistently tonight? Like the first half probably looked a lot different. But nobody could get open in the first half. I mean, an example of how bad their offense had got at one point in time for the Chiefs. Marquise Brown was their leading receiver with 8 catches. Now, a receiver got 8 catches. You're thinking, oh, he must have 70, 80, 100 something yards. Marquise Brown had 38 yards on 8 catches. That should tell you what the offense looked like for the Chiefs. Now, Travis Kelce's stats are going to look a lot better because of that deep catch he had for the touchdown. Marquise Brown's stats going to look a little bit better because of that heave that Pat Mahomes made to him. But at the end of the day, I know it's easy for us to continuously say, Pat the dude, he going to find a way. Pat Mahomes is that guy. He just going to keep finding. But what happened when he can't find a way, like tonight? When he do everything in his power and they still can't get it done. Like, my problem with the Chiefs is that Mahomes is not getting worse. But the talent around him pretty much is. And we keep ignoring it because Pat Mahomes keep finding a way to get his team to the playoffs. And I'm now realizing it's probably got a lot more to do with Pat Mahomes just knowing how to play these moments versus Josh and Lamar and these other dudes not playing these moments the way Pat can play them because he done been in so many of these moments. However, at some point in time, man, you got to get some receiving help over there for Pat. You have to, because Travis is clearly not the same player anymore. I don't know what to think of Rasheem Rice at this point. Marquise Brown is not a guy you want to rely on. Neither is Juju Smith. Like, they got a bunch of misfit toys over there. No disrespect to Marquise Brown, and it's hard to say that and then say no disrespect, but they just aren't the type of receivers that you would expect at this point in his career that that's all he would have to work with. And when it's very clear Travis Kelce is no longer the same Travis. Travis Kelce is not a number one option anymore. And it's weird that Travis Kelce lost it before George Kittle, because I feel like George Kittle take even more punishment than Travis Kelce. Nonetheless, to me, Travis Kelce is probably already married and in his new life with Taylor Swift. Rightfully so. It's going to be a lot of money in that. Probably going to have a TV show. They probably going to have a podcast. Probably going to do a tour together or whatever. Like, Travis Kelce is going to make bread in his next career with his wife, Miss Swift. However, what if Taylor Swift changed her name to Taylor Kelce? And so I just don't think that can happen. She's just too big, bro. You can't. Swifties are not going to become Kelce's. You know what I'm saying? The Eagle fans won't mind it. Neither will Chiefs fans. But I think it's going to become Taylor Swift hyphenated Kelce. The same way Beyonce's is Beyonce Knowles Carter. I think, and it's another celebrity. A lot of celebrities do that shit where they basically do the hyphenated name. I think that's what's going to happen. I think she's going to be Taylor Kelce Swift or Taylor Swift Kelce. I don't know. But if you one of those men who be like, no, you know, I'm a traditionalist where the woman got to take my last name. Women wasn't Taylor Swift and wasn't as big as Beyonce's and the Taylor Swifts, and you know, them women get to choose if they want to take the last name, bro. You don't got that. You don't got that type of power. And Travis Kelce ain't bigger than no Taylor Swift. They know Taylor Swift everywhere. I can walk in the store right now, motherfuckers not gonna know who Travis Kelce is. So stop it if one of the people thinking like that. But I just think the Chiefs got to figure out a way to get Pat some talent, some reliable talent. The Isaiah Pacheco thing is very interesting to me because it's like he went from being a great running back to I don't know what the Chiefs gonna do with him. Like, what Are they going to let him be the leading runner again? Like, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see what happened with the Chiefs, though. But once again, a great win for the Chargers. Like, a huge win for the Chargers. And I don't even think the Chargers, neither team, I think both teams had a decent pass rate. Well, obviously, the Chiefs got home a couple times towards the back end of this game. But I don't think that the pressure, I'm specifically talking about Khalil Mack. Let me stop sugarcoating it. Khalil Mack didn't really pop for me tonight. So I'm wondering, I'm hoping that he not at the end of his dominance. Like, I'm hoping that Khalil Mack just had an off night and he still is that boy. Because I like Khalil Mack. But I just noticed that tonight, like, the Chargers pass rush didn't really do much for me tonight. And outside of Tranquil and the other dude, a couple plays, the Chiefs had to call a blitz to get to Herbert. So, as you can hear that yawn, you can tell the boy is tired. The boy is tired. But it was a good game nonetheless. 2 great games to start off the NFL season. And boy, can't wait. Sunday is almost here. But I got to wait till 8 o'clock to watch the Ravens play. So, I haven't even decided what team I'm going to watch play Sunday during the 1 o'clock hour. Haven't decided yet. These really is the best days for me. When the Ravens play last, I get to watch so many different games. Really the best week. Well, no, the best week is not when the Ravens don't play. I was finna say the best week is when we got a bye week and I could just watch random teams. But nah, I'm starting to realize I don't really like not watching my team play. The bye weeks is the worst. Because I want to watch my boys play. I want to watch Lamar play. And we almost at that. But with that being said, the first episode of the recap, the 2025-26 NFL season, we are so back. I hope it's a great season, man. Consistency is back in the building. I'm praying I can be consistent. I hope don't nothing crazy happen in my life to where it fuck up my consistency. Praying hard about that one, but I appreciate you for joining me on another episode of the recap. The first episode of the recap to start the season. The Eagles, once again, defeat the Cowboys 24-20. And the Chiefs lose to the LA Chargers 21-27. Justin Herbert balled the fuck out. Hope you join me again on the next episode of the recap, which will be coming to you Sunday night, but will probably be uploaded Monday afternoon or early Monday morning. Who knows? Maybe I'm quick enough to where I can get that bad boy recorded and uploaded Sunday night, but I highly doubt it because I watch a lot of film after games and whatnot. I try not to admit. Well, we'll see how it goes. But looking to be more consistent this year. It's always a part in the season where I start getting a lot of views and then I lose the consistency. We're working on that. But with that being said, I appreciate you for joining me. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You can be anything in this world. So choose to be kind to somebody today. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend and tell a friend. I fuck with you. I love you. Till next time. Sign out.
I think it should be forgotten, especially when the score is already 41-17. So I don't know how much worse it can get.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.